Hi, we're going to do a little short kind of primer on how to get your dry suit ready to go out for the day. We've got older style dry suits that have a metal zip, and they require a little special care that maybe you don't see with the newer plastic zips, but we're going to go through our procedure here. So we've got our metal teeth on either side, and we've got the rubber seal in the middle. Now these rubber seals are not in bad shape, but you can see that they're just starting to get a little bit of fuzzy edge, and we're going to deal with that in just a moment. Usually we wouldn't do it this early, but since we're here, we're gonna get it taken care of. We're gonna start off with a little bit of beeswax, and we are just going to wax the zipper. So we just take our beeswax and we're gonna run it down both sides of the metal teeth.
And less is more here, because the more wax you have, you'll get buildup, which can clog your zipper, but also will attract debris, sand and silt and such. So you want it to be nice and lubricated without being full.
So just a light touch. And we kind of just grab both sides and run it down both sides. One time each.
This is my dry suit getting the love at the moment, but Chris's has already been doctored up and packed in the truck. We're heading out to our local quarry today.
And you don't have to do the wax every single dive. We clean these pretty good after our Florida trip, so we are putting a little lube back on them. Once you've got your lube down, then you can slide your zipper open. We'll come down on this end, and now you can kind of see the fuzzies that we're going to get rid of in the next step. Yes. Some dry suit companies use a soldering iron. We've got a soldering iron, and it seems to work pretty good for us. That's what we're going to use today. And what we're going to do is just try to dress up some of these little frayed threads.
And again, we're kind of being overkill here.
Yeah, this isn't really necessary today, but we're going to get it just because we've got it out. And you can see just a real light touch. Apply a little bit of heat, and those threads that were loose clean right up. And since this one really isn't in bad shape, we're just going to look down. Yeah, this is the end where we had a few that I wanted to address. And just a little bit, tiny bit ragged. And we just quickly run the tip down where we see some exposed threads. We're not trying to majorly do surgery here, just a little bit of heat. It's gonna take off those exposed threads that could get caught in the zipper and cause damage to your really expensive seal, and make it good for another bunch of dives. Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Looks good to me. Looks
good to me too. And again, you get 30-40 dives on it, lots of open and closed cycles. You'll have some of those build up, and it'll really be worth your while. This is kind of just to show you the process. Any soldering iron will work. We've got a fancy one, but you don't need anything like that.
A lighter would work, right?
A lighter would work in a pinch, yeah.
Some fire and some bravery is all it takes.
Yeah, and she's good to go. Next step getting these ready to go is to apply a little bit of talc to the seals. We've got a mesh baggie, and we got some actual talcum powder from Seaskin, who made our suits. And what we do is we just load that talc powder down into the mesh baggie and kind of tie a little knot around the mesh baggie, and then you've got a poof ball of talc powder. So just take a little bit, and we're gonna kind of bang the end of this around to get our neck seal.
So much like the beeswax, less is more here, because you don't want a ton of it to get wet while you're diving and then, you know, become a paste.
Exactly, and then just a little around each wrist seal. Now, one thing we're not going to do today, but just to point out, every now and then, where the seams of the suit are taped, we'll take the whole suit, turn it inside out, and just kind of rub those taped seams. It just makes the suit a little easier to get on, get off. We usually do that after a big major cleaning. These weren't in bad shape coming back from Florida, so they don't need it today.
No, they don't. All right, so we might be diving full face masks today, but either way, it's always a good idea to have your backup mask in the pocket. of your Drysuit or BC. We like our Drysuit pockets because they're nice and big. So we zip that in before we roll it up. You want your zipper to be open and flat as it can possibly be when you roll up your Drysuit to pack it for the day. You're gonna start with the legs. You're just going to gently roll them up. Don't want any super creases. And you would never leave your Drysuit in its bag for a long time. This is just from here to the dive site, really.
Yeah, we have them on hangers, usually with a hanger and then circulating air through, keeping them dry, keeping them fresh.
So
and
then you finish your burrito here with the arms folded up.
And we bring the halves together.
And we zip. Be careful first to not zip the neoprene into the zip.
Once you get it all zipped in, we take the bottom halves and clip them together.
Clip. You're ready to go diving.
Ready to go diving.
Okay, so the truck is loaded. We have our weight bags over here and our weight pockets. There's Chris's, and here are mine. We have our fins. Today we're both diving the Scuba Pro S-Tex. They have weight plates you can add here, but we have both found that we like them with no weight plates on them. I'm actually trying that out for the first time today, but Chris has been a big fan of it, so we're gonna see how it goes. We're not sure how cold the water's gonna be, so we're only taking one tank apiece. I have a steel 100 and Chris has a 120. There's our Drysuits all lubed up and ready to go. My BC is the Apex Exotech, which I'm a huge fan of. And Chris is also a huge fan of his Apex. He has the Black Ice. And then over here we have our masks. We're both diving Halcyon masks. And then this is our huge Save a Dive bag. We might do a video in terms of what's in that at some later date. But we have our nice fleece vests, because again, we don't know how cold this water is going to be. We have our hoods, which we will definitely need. Our dry gloves are in here. Any tools we might need. Some Stearamine for cleaning our P-valves after the dive, which we'll show you later. And then our rock boots are in those bags there, ready to go. So I think we have everything. Are we missing anything?
Nope.
Nope. Ready to go diving.
So we've got Revivex Odor Eliminator. A little of that.
A little of that stuff goes a long way, so you really only need a cap full.
Yep. And we top it up with water. And if things were really bad, we typically dunk our gear. But since this was just one freshwater dive, we're just going to spritz them down with a little odor eliminator. Well, should be plenty to keep them fresh for next time.
Next up, we're going to be cleaning out our P-valve hoses. And for that, we use these Stearamine tablets. We put 2 of these tablets in a gallon jug of water. And then we fill from that this little barbecue sauce bottle that we created. It's got a quick connect at the top, which you'll see in a second, just easily clicks into the Drysuit tubing, and then we can squeeze the sanitizer fluid right through it. Keep everything nice and clean. So first things first, we need to make sure that the P-valve is open. Then we grab the tube from inside the suit. And you can see it's got that quick connect on the end. And the barbecue sauce bottle that we've crafted fits right in. And we squeeze some of that sterilizing fluid right through. And she's good to go. You might want to send a little bit of hot water down through every now and again too, just to make sure you don't get any stearamine crystals built up in the line or in the valve. But yeah, that's all there is to it.
All right, so we have a set of hang-airs for our dry suits. They're made by a company called Underwater Kinetics. All they are is a fan that forces air from the neck down through the suit, and we found that it really does dry them up quite quickly. We even take them with us when we do our traveling. It's just an easy, quick way to make sure your suit's totally fresh, totally dry the next day.
And while I'm up here, this is our, what is this stuff called? This goes like in the back of a pickup truck usually, but we have it set up on some pulleys. I don't know if I'll be able to show you from here, hanging from the rafters in our basement. And up on top of here, we have a surge protector down there that the hang-airs are plugged into. And then we just lift this all up off the ground to hang and dry.
And we do the same thing with our suit we did with our BC. We're just gonna spritz the outside of it down with a little bit of our
odor eliminator.
That's another Earaid product. And again, if they were bad, we would soak them, but they're not, so we're just gonna give them a quick spritz.
Okay, so here are those pulleys I was mentioning. And we're ready to lift all of our stuff up.